Back again with some torch reviews. This time I'm going to be looking at this Klarus that they've sent in, the FlatTac X1. This is one of their wedge style torches that they've come out. Very similar but somewhat different to the Nitecore ones that I've looked at. Just showing you quickly some of the features with this model, and I'll go into things in a bit more detail. You do have a user interface guide, user manual and a little brochure for other products, Type A to Type C charging cable, and they sent both models in, but I'll quickly look at the one without the ring on the side. Put the measurements for both of them up on screen. As you can see, the X1K is the one with the ring, and that is why it is a larger width. We do have two switches on this. You can see they are angled, they are silicone covered. These are single stage switches though, so it's just one press. There's no full or half press like the Nitecores. I'll cover the UI later on. There's your nano ceramic beads on the top for glass breaking. There's your Type C charging port. That's another silicone flap that covers that. Quite fast charging on this, just under 2 hours, and it does work with C to C and A to C charging. And a quick comparison with the two models, the E at the top is the one without the tactical ring, and the K at the bottom that has that included. That does have another one of those ceramic hard points on the edge. You can see that it's held in place with 2 screws. Klarus is saying the coating on the aluminium is twice as thick as the normal coatings on a torch. I'll just quickly show you some of the information that you get with the OLED display. It does give you the power levels, a battery level indicator. It shows you some of the modes that you're in, including the SOS and beacon, and other things like the strobe, moonlight, and if the sensor's been activated. It doesn't give you an approximate run time, and we don't get a battery voltage readout. It's still of some use, but I wouldn't say it's essential on a model like this. Onto the UI is a double press. It starts it at 2200. If you press within 5 seconds, it cycles through the levels. Single press for off, and if you leave it longer than 5 seconds, it also turns off. Triple press takes you into your strobe modes. That is the beacon and SOS. There's a separate strobe. And onto the second switch, the auxiliary switch is marked red. Quick press on that gives you the moonlight mode, and a long press gives you the strobe. It gives you a 15-second countdown timer, but that will drop to under 10 seconds if you keep hitting the turbo. And I'll give you a quick close-up on the display to show you that. I do like the proximity sensor because that works all the time, not just when you're switching it on. Range on that is about 10 to 12 centimeters roughly. And here's your lockout. Triple press on the auxiliary switch, the red switch. Just show you the power output now, and I'll just give you a couple of quick thoughts on that UI. I'm okay with it apart from the 5-second gap that you have. And then moving on to the beam shots. Start off with the TH10R as normal. I might change that for future videos. As far as the output goes off of the Klarus, it's pretty much what you'd expect for a torch of this type. It's quite a flood-like beam off of this, although it does reach a reasonable range at the higher power levels. It is a cool white light, but the tint seems to be fairly good off of this one. When you are switching through the power levels, there's two things to note. Firstly, it goes in reverse order. I've just rearranged the clips because I usually start at the lowest levels. I'm not a huge fan of this 5-second part of the UI. If you hit the switch after that 5 seconds, it does turn off the torch, so you have to double press it to turn it on, or if you've got it on, you'll have to double press it and it will take you to the 2200 lumens. Then you can cycle through the power levels again. I don't particularly like that. I think the rest of the UI is perfectly okay. There is a bit of a jump though from the 200 up to the 1200 lumens. I think they could have done perhaps 400 or 500 lumens. Few areas to talk about with the Klarus. Firstly, I think the ring could have been designed where they had just one model and you're able to slot it in if you want to. The clip on the back is perfectly okay. You can fit a wrist strap, but you don't get one included for some reason. Would have changed the UI a bit. I'm not a big fan of that 5-second interval. Didn't have any issues with accidental activation. And you do have that lockout if you need it. Perhaps they might address some of those in a Mark II version. On the upside, the build quality is very nice. The beam profile is also decent. The switches feel perfectly fine to me. Be quite busy the next month or so with products coming in, so do stick around for those. I've got a few Nitecore videos as well. If you've got any thoughts or comments, do drop them down below. And as usual, thanks for watching.